Yo, what's good? Let's get right into it. Man, you're not broke. You're being robbed. Yo, it's the USA money corporate grab. Right? You're not broke. You're more than likely being robbed. Let me tell you guys why. The majority of the spending that we do as consumers are typically driven by peers, driven by advertisement, right? Now, this didn't just start like yesterday, right? This started earlier in the 1900s, right? I put a post up specifying all the different timelines that shows the introduction to advertising and people spending from seeing advertising. Now it's much more deeper than that, right? So I was able to do some research and things of that nature, and what I found out was that mega corporations have been feeding on U.S. citizens' emotional guilt, right? Emotional guilt. So this started with holidays that you guys already know of, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and I can go on. And the crazy part about it is that it wasn't created as a benefactor of what has your mother done for you, or what has your father done for you. Why are they special? Why are they special to you in your life? The whole holiday was created by for Mother's Day. It was created by a woman. Her name was Anna Jarvis. The reason why she created Mother's Day was because it was a woman in her life that obviously her mother and stuff like that, and she served in the military, and then something happened, and she wound up I don't know, like she had like pull. She just started saying that there should be a day for mothers, right? Mother's Day. And President Woodrow Wilson supposedly signed off and honored that some years after she had declared that it should be a day for mothers. And the crazy part about that is that the majority of us are consumer spending because we feel that the person that we need to show affection for or have genuine love for us, they need to be bought, or they need to receive certain things in order to show that you care. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy things for people that you care about. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that corporations have dug in, fed off of that, knowing that people are obviously they care about their family. And what better way to make money off of you than to advertise Mother's Day, advertise Father's Day, advertise Christmas, right? Because they're emotional ties, and it dates back to when we were kids, right? From when we were kids, and some of us are parents now, and so on, right? And your kids, they always expect something, right? They always expect something around Christmas. If you were to not get anything for your family or kids for Christmas, a lot of you guys, it would seem like they would hate your guts. You know what I mean? And that's how bad it is. So these large corporations, they figured that out. Macy's, Coca-Cola Christmas holidays, Macy's, retail buying clothing, Hershey's Valentine's Day, they figured this out. They said, hey, listen, you love these people so much, you're gonna have to buy them something, all right? You're going to have to get them something, because they ain't going to like you if you don't. So what do, man? You go out and you spend 200, 300, 400, 500, man, whatever it is, right? And they figured it out. They got you guys. They got you. Just on Christmas alone, annually, since the start, $950 billion dedicated to Christmas. Let me say that number again. $950 billion on Christmas alone. Not to mention the other 20 plus ridiculous known holidays. Right? And we can go on and on. Christmas is supposed to be, Christianity-wise, for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. At the same time, primordial knowledge of Jesus Christ. The Romans were anti-Christ, right? And they're the ones that originated Christmas. Okay? And we're not going to get into that. What I'm saying is that these things are altered. They are used against other people in order to profiteer off of others, whether it may be to make them work harder in the ancient days, or to, in modern days, to have you go out and spend every single dime that you got. And in some cases, putting you guys in mindsets that you really don't even know that you're doing it. It's just so normalized, right? And it's just, like I said, it's emotional guilt. So you guys are buying things off of emotional guilt, right? How many times have we did things for, our loved ones that, that were genuine and special, and you didn't have to typically go out and get a bunch of things, right? I used to think it was cool, like, it was pretty special when you was a kid, and you go and you make your, if you celebrated, Mother's Day, you're gonna make your mother a card, or your grandmother a card in school when you was a kid, put something real nice together, and they really appreciated that stuff. They didn't need $100 in the card all the time, especially, like when things like, yeah. So basically what I'm saying is that you guys don't even realize that, like, you out here just doing all this excessive spending when you can show love in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, when you look at the, the alternative, you look at big corporations like Macy's and Coca-Cola and Hershey's, Hershey's for Valentine's Day, and you look at all the revenue that they generated, and you sit there and you be like, damn, like, well, what do we have to show for ourselves? Like on a financial level, we're the ones doing all the, the spending. How often do you see, or do you, like, have the feeling that you're amongst, 6 and 7 figure earners, in retail stores all the time, right? Them dudes is not in retail stores buying shit up, because it's, because it's, what you call it, Christmas, or, things like that. They're the ones advertising it to you guys. And you guys are in the store spending up all that time, spending up all that excessive, pay that you worked, extremely hard for. It's crazy. So that's pretty much all I'm saying. But what are some key, solutions that you got for it? You know what I'm saying? You guys could do things, put things together where you don't have to do a bunch of excessive spending. You could put, things to do together, on those specific, I guess, holidays, if you, call it that, and try to get some things done like that. Here's a cool little concept right here. Start your own holiday. The no spending holiday. The no spending holiday. That way you have something to show for it, right? You got love, you showing genuine love, and you still got resources, for yourself and for your family, and instead of spending it up and stuff like that. But yeah, man, so you guys pay attention, like, understand, like, this whole thing, this whole a simulation, man, is a huge corporate money grab. You will get robbed if you don't pay attention to what's going on. Consumerism is real. I watch and I see and I stay quiet and I understand how deadly this is for people and their families when it comes to resources. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need those resources much sooner than you think. But you're on Amazon, you're sitting there every day and you're buy, right? You're on, you're at this retail store and you're buying and you're buying and you're buying, and it's like, when is it ever going to end? When is it ever going to end? When are you going to be on the side that doesn't have to give up hard-earned resources? Think about that, guys. But just wanted to run that by you guys. Stay focused. If this made sense to you, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I'll talk to you guys soon. It's the voice of the people. Peace.